Okay, well, I'm a few days off on this posting here, but just wanted to make a video. So, the Panthers are from Charlotte, North Carolina. The Broncos are from Denver, Colorado. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting stories about both places in the media and whatnot. I want to go back to this story right here and begin here. So, there was a snowmobilers die in British Columbia avalanche. Just interesting, there's lots of Columbia coding. We had the Columbia, Missouri hunger strike, or the University of Missouri. The Miss Universe, originally the winner was Colombia, then he gave it to Philippines. They even had a CNN article about the spelling of Colombia. People are spelling it with a U and not an O, the country Colombia. Now we have this avalanche. British Columbia kills 5 snowmobilers. Snowmobilers equals 58, a number that has just been all over, or 56, sorry. A number that's been all over the place. Paris, France equals 56. ISIS equals 56. Ronda Rousey equals 56. She lost her 12th fight, which interesting. I've talked about 12 being bad, 21 being good, but tons of other stuff. Osama bin Laden, Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein, all add up to 56. Also, British Columbia, it makes a lot of sense. Talked a lot about the royal family coding. Royal family equals 56. We even just had the Ben Carson staffer, Braden Joplin, who died when his van was hit by the Chevy Avalanche. Once again, another avalanche story. Joplin even equals 31. Avalanche equals 31. Lots of 31 coding in regards to the NFL playoffs. And even the Alabama Clemson game even. I mean, look at this, though. It happened on January 30th, 1:30 at 1:30 p.m. I mean, oh, the odds. 1:30 p.m., January 30th. Also, it says McBride, British Columbia, which adds up to 107, just like Earthquake. Just like Superman. Just like lots of things I've been talking about recently. And like I said, I've been seeing the 12 all over lately. It even says on average 12 Canadian avalanche deaths per year. Also, it's in the Rocky Mountains, which just reminds me of Denver and the Broncos. And it might be a stretch, but it says in here Mary Clayton was the spokeswoman of it. Mary Clayton just reminds me of Clayton Ravine in Back to the Future that was named after Doc Brown's wife, Clara Clayton. Anyway, then on January 31st, I believe, we got this story. 1 killed, 7 hurt in shootings, stabbing at Denver motorcycle show. So go figure, this video on CNN is even a minute 22. Super Bowl in San Francisco, stadium or whatever, San Francisco equals 122. San Francisco is even located on 122 degrees west. Lots of other stuff with that. The Super Bowl's rigged around race, white Bronco versus Black Panther. And then, of course, the story even gives us the police chief, Robert White, in the city of the White Bronco. Colorado Motorcycle Expo equals 272. The Super Bowl is played on 2-7, or other countries they read it as 7-2. Just Motorcycle Expo equals 72. The article also gave us this: the 38th annual expo for Sunday has been canceled according to the city, blah, blah, blah. Just interesting, the 38th annual expo, Colorado, the 38th state, Colorado equals 38 and 83. Manning, born on the 83rd day of the year, Elway was drafted in 83. Omaha equals 38. Manning calls out Omaha a lot. Super Bowl 50 on the 38th day of the year. Panthers equals 38. I mean, this story happened on the date numerology of 67. 3-8, March 8th, and a non-leap year is also the 67th day of the year. I mean, so much coding to the 38 and 83. Football even equals 83. One of the witnesses here was Brittany Shaw. It says she saw 50 men. I mean, come on, of course, because it's coded to Super Bowl 50. Her name in gematria even equals 144. Just like the word 71 when you read it out. Super Bowl 50 equals 71. I've talked a lot about how it's coded to Moses and Abraham Lincoln, the Civil War type theme. Moses freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Even this year we had the Syrian Exodus, which was a big deal. Everybody talking about it on Facebook and whatnot. But, Super Bowl's in Levi's Stadium. Moses was in the tribe of Levi. 12 tribes times 12,000 equals 144,000. Moses equals 71. 10 Commandments equals 71. The story also reminded me of the Waco, Texas biker fight. And I mean, the reason that it really stuck out to me was because this one was at Twin Peaks in Waco. I mean, Twin Peaks, like the mountains, Denver, the Rocky Mountains. Then we just got the story of the Avalanche and the Canadian Rockies. This also happened on 5/17/2015, which is exactly 38 weeks before Super Bowl 50. It's also 266 days. We talked a lot about Pope Francis, the 266th Pope who went to the White House on the 266th day of the year. He went there at 9:23. The 266th day is even 9:23, September 23rd. He came to America on his 923rd day as Pope. Pope Francis equals 122, just like San Francisco. They're both named after St. Francis of Assisi, who is the first guy who ever took the stigmata. Also, Waco, Texas equals 111. I've mentioned a lot of connections to 111, dealing with the royal family. The World Series was super coded to 111. Queen Elizabeth was born on the 111th day. Tons of stuff that, is the 111th World Series that ended on 11-1. Matt Harvey pitched 111 pitches. He wouldn't come out of the game until then, and that's why they lost. But I also was thinking about it, and 71 seconds is 1 minute and 11 seconds. So 71 even has a connection to 111. Super Bowl 50, 71. It's also called the Golden Super Bowl that adds up to 71. And then, whatever night this was, when I wrote it in here, it's that we got the story of two Virginia Tech students who killed a 13-year-old girl in North Carolina. And go figure, Virginia Tech equals 71. Okay, and it happened on 1/31, January 31st. Super Bowl equals 131. It's also the mirrors 13 and 31. It was a 13-year-old girl. The Panthers play in North Carolina. The girl in the story that was supposedly the murderer or whatever, Natalie M. Keepers is what they gave us. Her name adds up to 64 and 154. 64, a number all tied into the civil rights. The Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964. Civil rights in Gematria equals 64. Passed by Lyndon B. Johnson equals 64. He died at the age of 64. Replaced JFK, who died at the age of 46. JFK's wife died at the age of 64. But also Levi's Stadium equals 46, the mirror of 64, and also 154, just like her name. Denver Broncos equals 154. Also, if they win the Super Bowl this year, they'll finish the season 15-4. I mean, and can the story get any more ridiculous? This guy's name's David Eisenhower, but they even put it in here, David E. Eisenhower, like Dwight D. Eisenhower. I mean, it's just so obvious. If they wouldn't have put that E in there, it might not seem so bad, but David E. Eisenhower equals 78 and 150. Dwight D. Eisenhower even died at the age of 78. I've talked a lot about him in regards to the 34s surrounding the Civil War. I'll just read it here. He's the first president to begin his presidency on 1/20 instead of 3/4. He was the 34th president and the 43rd term president. Lincoln was born on the 43rd day of the year, became president on 3/4, died exactly 4 years, 3 months after the Civil War began. Kansas became the 34th and last state to join the Union before the Civil War. Kansas even became the 34th state 34 days before 3/4 in 1861. The 20th Amendment changed the president from starting on 3/4 to January 20th. And 1/20 to 3/4 is even a span of 43 days. The word Civil War equals 43. Also, it started with the 34th president. He was the first one to begin his presidency on 1/20. Civil War, it also began in Charleston. Charleston equals 43. The first death of the Civil War was in Maryland. That equals 34. Lincoln equals 34. Assassination equals 34. And like I said, him and Moses both freed the slaves. Look at all the 34 coding to Moses. Exodus 34. He's a Hebrew 34. Egyptian 43. Serpent 34. Red Sea 34. Canaan 34. Sinai 34. Passover 34. Golden Calf 43. Moses was the lawgiver 43. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Also, if you take out the E on that kid's name, Dwight Eisenhower, it equals 145 and 73. Carolina equals 73. Chicago, Illinois equals 145. And I mean, he's even from Columbia, Maryland. I mean, just all the Columbia coding. I don't know exactly the whole point of it, but there's lots of it. I should look into like the founding of the country Columbia and whatnot. I just always think of the movie Blow and Coke and whatnot, but I don't know that much about it. I guess, the Coke and whatnot could also have something to do with a racial type thing, like black people and discos and whatever else, who knows? Not necessarily, but I know a lot of people who do Coke and they're not black, but that's just the racial stereotype that we've been taught, Anyway, of course, this girl, her home was in Blacksburg, right? They had to throw in the Blacksburg. The last story had the white police chief officer, white in his name. Now we have this girl from Blacksburg. Her name, Nicole Lovell, equals 55, just like Chicago Bears. They also had a thing where they gave her middle name equals 85, just like, 85, the 85 Bears. They also found her body just inside Route 89. Queen Elizabeth is 89 years old this year. Cam Newton was born in 1989. Huey P. Newton, the founder of the Black Panthers, died in 1989. 1989 is also 27 years ago. 27 is Super Bowl 50. I forgot to mention, too, back in the whole motorcycle stuff, on February 1st, we even had this story about the Broncos bus crashing, and it involved a motorcycle cop or whatever. I mean, come on, just another motorcycle story dealing with the Broncos. It's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, the bus, what I found interesting, the bus is colored all black. I don't know if like all the buses are like that, but this bus is all black, which just sticks out to me. Buses collide equals 45 and 126. Chicago Bears equals 45. The Super Bowl date numerology is 45. The 85 Bears won the Super Bowl 20 on 126 even in 1986. And I just typed in, this is what it's like when buses collide, because I was thinking of the Powerman 5000 song, who knows. Doesn't have to mean anything, I just put it in there. It equals 145, just like Chicago, Illinois. I was thinking of Wayne Static, his wife just dying. Wayne Static even died on November 1st or whatever of 2014, I believe. So just the 111. Broncos bus equals 38, just like Colorado where they play. The 38th state, Super Bowl 50, the 38th day of the year. The Broncos even won their first Super Bowl in their 38th season. It was Super Bowl 32. Broncos equals 32. Panthers equals 38. Highway 101 was where it happened. That equals 223, just like Masonic, just like the Synagogue of Satan. The Church of Satan was even founded in San Francisco. Skull and Crossbones equals 223. Also, with it being 101, I've mentioned a lot of Philadelphia coding. Philadelphia equals 101. Traffic accident equals 122, just like San Francisco, just like Golden State. But thankfully, DeMarcus Ware let us know what was happening. DeMarcus Ware equals 131 and 50, just like Super Bowl 50. He said, whatever he tweeted, it added up to 313 and 808. 306 score and 6 equals 313. Pope Francis became Pope on 3/13 of 2013. But running out of time here, I'll just let you read the rest of it here. But it involved the motorcycle cop I was telling you. They were also going to their hotel in California. But yeah, I'll just let you read the rest here. Have a good night.